Hi y'all, welcome back. I'm glad to have you back with me, and I've picked up a couple of new subscribers, so I thank you for that. And so remember, if this is your first time watching one of my videos, I welcome you to hit the subscribe button and the bell notification, and then give me a thumbs up. And I also welcome any and all of your comments. So let's go ahead and we'll get started with what we're making today. Today we're going to make well, let me see the name of that again. I had it in my mind, I forgot. Cinnamon roll French toast. This is a recipe I found an old recipe from, I don't know, I'd say maybe the 60s. It was in an old magazine, and I came across this, and so I thought, okay, let's go ahead and I'll make it, and we'll see how it turns out. So, I take that back. I did not find this in a magazine. This was on an old vintage cooking site on Facebook, and it was a clipping out of a magazine. So I just want to make sure I say that correctly. I don't want to ever say anything that's not true. So we'll go ahead and we'll get started with it today. Now for this, you're going to need a can of cinnamon rolls, just this, standard regular size. Looks like they're 12.4 ounce. I'm sure there used to be more in there. And it said some butter, but it needed some melted butter. It didn't say how much, but you're just going to put it in the bottom of the casserole dish, which again, it did not say the size of a casserole dish. So I'm thinking probably an 8 by 8, but I have a casserole dish that's probably equivalent to an 8 by 8, so that's what I am going to use. And then the butter, I'm just using, I had like about a little tablespoon or so of some left over, so that's all I used. 3 eggs, 1/4 cup of milk, a teaspoon of cinnamon, a teaspoon of vanilla, and 1/2 cup of syrup. Now, of course, if you need, have more people in your family, you'll need to make a bigger one. And this is half of the recipe. The original recipe was double of everything I said. And I'll read that ingredient list again as I go along. So let's go ahead and I'll turn you down and we'll get started. Sometimes it wants to work and sometimes it doesn't. Okay, is that where you can see? I think so. May move it just a little farther back there. There we go. Okay. All right, so we're going to take our casserole dish and take that and put our melted butter in it. Like I said, it did not say, and I just imagine that's all it was needed for. I could be wrong, but if I am, we'll find out. As I said before, cooking sometimes it's just trial and error. Okay, set that there. This is bottom's clean. I washed it and everything. Okay, and what I'm going to do also is I'm going to take the wrapper and just spread it around here. Just kind of get the sides and everything greased. It does not say to grease the sides, but I want to. All right. That way I didn't have to be leaning over this one. I want to pull it closer to me. Set that aside. Then we're going to take and open these up. If I can find where we begin. And there we go. There's the pot. It startled me a little, I guess. I wasn't expecting. I was expecting to take it and whop it on the table there. All right. Now we are to take our cinnamon rolls, and it said to set the icing aside. Let me get that off there. Okay, there we go. Then it says that we are to cube them. Well, you know, how do you cube rounds? So we're just going to kind of cut them in quarters, I think. And get my knife to go through it. There we go. Let's just cut them in quarters. That's close enough. Kind of like little mini triangles. Again, that was 1 can, and that can was a 12 1/4 ounce. But it did not say the size on the recipe. Same with the butter, putting it in the dish. It didn't say how much. Mine was about a tablespoon or so. Okay. Now we are to take and put these in the casserole dish. There we go. Probably an 8x8 would probably serve me better, but that's okay. We're going to make this one work. I don't feel like dirtying up this dish and then switching to another one. Roll some of that butter around. Don't know if I should make another layer or not on top. Said the instructions weren't real explicit. So we're just going to try and push in wherever we can push in. There we go. I think they'll be good. I'll just kind of squish it down there a little. Okay. Now, next we are going to we'll set that aside. We're to take 3 eggs and break those up. Wipe my hands off here on that paper towel, or here's my towel here. To this, we are going to add 1/4 cup of milk. One teaspoon of cinnamon. And it's probably a little more than a teaspoon since it was heaped up, but that's okay. And a teaspoon of vanilla. Oops, it's a dripping all over the place on me. That was a new bottle. My cinnamon I'd refilled. I buy a big bottle and keep refilling it. Clean this mess up there. Okay, that vanilla smells so good. I love that Mexican vanilla. I don't think I ever heard of it before or seen it. I don't know, probably not, but my daughter was telling me about it. Okay, so next we are to whisk this all up. You know, my daughter telling me, you know, that goes to show that no matter how old we are, we can always learn something. from those younger than us, can't we? Don't ever get to where we think that we can't, because we always can. Y'all, I'm sorry about my voice. My asthma has been kind of flaring. And so when it does, my voice isn't real good. Okay, mix that as good as we can, because that been, you know, of course that cinnamon doesn't like to mix up real good. Okay, just get those eggs beat all up. All right, now we are to pour this over the cinnamon rolls. And I'm sorry, I did not show you me doing that, did I? Let's just kind of pour it all over that. I forgot to pull that aside. I'm going to scrape all this out. Remember, groceries cost too much to waste anything. Get your spatula and scrape it out. Okay. And you know, on cinnamon rolls, you can use any brand. I just happened to shop at the local grocery store here, and that was the only brand they had. Or if I would have bought something cheaper if I'd been at the bigger town. I would have bought some, what do you call it? Well, there goes my brain. I would have bought from Aldi and got their brand. Okay, then it says a half a cup of maple syrup. Okay, I did not have maple syrup. I don't usually eat maple syrup, but I had Mrs. Butterworth's, and I'd say you could use any brand of syrup you want. And then it says to pour that on top. Just pour that on top of the mixture, which I'm wondering how sweet this is going to be, but we'll see. I was thinking maybe next time I might cut that syrup in half or switch it and the milk around. But we'll see. I mean, if you like things really sweet, you'd like it. My husband, if he was still living, he would love it. His mama used to say she loved sweets too, and I like sweets, but they were bigger sweet fans than I am, but I do like sweets, especially chocolate. But my mother-in-law, she used to say that you should eat your dessert first, because if Jesus was to come back, at least you got your dessert to eat on your way. Okay. So now we're going to put this, and I'll turn up here so you can see me. We're going to put this in a 375 degree oven for 25 minutes. So I will bring you back when it's finished. Well, if this will stop recording, must have something on my finger. I don't know why it wants to do that. Well, let me see what I can do here. I may have to take it off and then try it and just edit this out, y'all. Well, my goodness, I've never seen it do this. Well, I finally did get that video to stop, or stop my camera. But anyway, so it's finished. I'll bring you down. I checked it when the time was up, and it was still a little runny, so I put it in for about 5 more minutes. So, I was cooking my toaster oven, though, so that may be why I have to always lower the temp on it a little. And then sometimes it'll cook right, and sometimes it won't. Okay, can you see this? Okay, so let's see if we can get a little bit out. You see some of that syrup here around the sides. Let's take a little bit right there. good at the bottom for sure. Look at that, looks buttery there. Let's take a little piece of this and a little piece of the top part of the crust. Let me turn you so you can see me a little better. There we go. That does taste good. And the syrup, remember how I said I was afraid it might have been too much. It really isn't, so it isn't really overly sweet. You know, if you like maple syrup, and I like maple syrup, I just really don't buy it because the price of it is a little pricey. But my kids, they, I don't know, they and my husband always preferred Mrs. Butterworth's for some reason. You know, everybody's different. Everybody likes different brands, different things. Of course, when they were young, we had to use a different brand because for many years we had to use, you know, just a cheaper brand. But you have to use what you can afford. You know, I would never tell you you need to use this brand or that brand. I may tell you what brand I prefer, but I won't say, well, you need to use this brand, not any other brand. I'll just tell you what I prefer. All right, so, you know, y'all may try this for breakfast some morning. Make it, you know, like so, it's easy and simple to make. So, like I said, this is probably about the same size as an 8x8. All right, listen, remember to always season your cooking with love. And, you know, one other thing I want to say, Matthew 6:33, that was my husband's favorite scripture, and it says, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. So remember to always put God first in everything you do. I wanted to show you, I think I've shown you all this before, but here that has what I say, you know, always season your cooking with love. Well, it's down there under this. Oh well, I think I told y'all before, my daughter made this noodle board for me, or stove cover, whatever you want to call it. All right, listen, y'all have a wonderful day, all right?